Whiz, right? It's a Navy Top Gun graduate, former F-18 fighter pilot, also, I believe, a former commercial pilot. So, Matthew, welcome. Thank you for coming on. One of the things, again, because a lot of our coverage of an incident by its definition becomes speculative because we don't know a lot of what's going on. But we do know what the weather was or the winds were. For a pilot, what are you dealing with in a situation like that?
Well, as soon as I saw the video this morning taken from the cockpit of another aircraft at the hold short, it reminded me of landing an F-18 Hornet aboard an aircraft carrier. The rate of descent for an F-18 aboard the ship is about 800 feet per minute. The last flight track data that I saw for this RJ was 1,100 feet per minute. And if you've seen a fighter jet that lands aboard the boat, the landing gear are meaty, they're beefy. They're designed for that. This regional jet is not designed for that rate of descent. And, the weather, kind of looked like a sunny day, but they didn't mention all the weather. They were using runway 23. And whenever these mishaps happen, I grab my phone and I look at my aviation apps. The winds were at about 270. So you have a 40-degree wind off the nose. It's called a crosswind. Right. And they were gusts up to 40 knots. So these were absolutely sporty conditions, even though it was sunny out and there was some snow blowing around, kind of sporty conditions.
Right, because one plane could come down and be fine, but then the gusts could come at the wrong time, I suppose, right? Is that maybe what happened here? And then next thing you know, you're thrown off and you're skidding on the ice.
You absolutely nailed it. A couple seconds later, a wind gust is going to hit an aircraft differently than you who just landed.
Well, can I go back to that point you made about the aircraft carrier? Because I just want to understand what you're saying there. So it was coming. Why would it have been coming down in a comparable way here? What could have led to that for a plane like this?
Like we just alluded to, could be a wind gust, right?
So the wind would actually speed it up. So this wind's basically speeding it up and changing the angle.
Speeding up or slowing it down in this case. And another issue, when you look at that video, the jet kind of lands like a table. You're not supposed to land flat. You're supposed to land with your main landing gear first. The nose gear gently comes lowering down. This thing lands like a table flat. It's not designed for that force. And as you can see with the video, the right main landing gear immediately collapses. That right wing digs into the runway or the dirt. They lose the right wing. Guess what's left? The left wing. It's the only one left, and it's producing lift. That's why you get the corkscrew. That's why the aircraft rolls, is because that left wing still has some lift on it. It's not looking too good here. As you know, 70 to 80% of civilian aviation mishaps are pilot error. I got to be honest with you. I've been in some of these situations. If there's any doubt, there's no doubt. They should have added max power if they felt like they were coming down that fast, full power. Go around, let's try this thing again.
Right, because that's up to the pilot. I was talking to air traffic control yesterday, basically. So that's up to the pilot, right? They'll give you the conditions, they'll tell you what's going on, and then you have to make that call.
Yeah, the pilot not flying, the one, just kind of monitoring everything, could have made that decision, or the pilot flying, or the captain, supposed to have more experience, obviously, should have made the call to go around, and let's just try this again. Especially if it was a wind gust out of the blue, like, whoa, that was unexpected.
Right, because that's what I was thinking, because I've been on a lot of flights, obviously, commercial flights where something like that's happened, where they'll say, all right, we're going to take another swing at this, and then you're wondering why in the moment. But I was thinking yesterday, it's like, well, what were their options if the weather was what it was? But to your point, it may not have been, right? Because it may have been just kind of the gusts may have changed, or the situation, even in a few seconds, a few minutes later, it might have been better.
It can happen that quickly. I've been landing, and all of a sudden there's a shot of wind out of the blue, and you're like, whoa. Yeah. But like we just talked about, add power, go around and try it again. Ain't no skin off your back at that moment.
Okay. Thank you for explaining all of this. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.